first things first, let's talk about the anatomy of the bass. We got the body, we got the neck, we got the head. On the body, we have a bridge. On the bridge, we have saddles. The saddles are where the strings cross over the bridge. We also use the saddles, we draw them back and forth, and that helps us intonate the bass, or make sure that all of the notes on the fingerboard are in tune. Pickups, these pick up the sound from the strings. We have volume and tone control on this bass. Other basses are set up a little different, doesn't really matter at this point. This bass also has a pick guard on it. That's to keep the body from getting scratched, but as you can see on this particular instrument, scratching is not really anything I'm super concerned about. This is a 72 P bass, lovely piece of work here. On the neck, we also have the fingerboard. That's where the fingers are. On the fingerboard, we have frets. These are the little metal divisions along the length of the fingerboard, and those are divided up into half steps, which is the smallest increment in Western music. We have a nut here at the end of the fingerboard. The nut transitions from the fingerboard to the headstock. The headstock has the tuning pegs on it. That's really everything you need to know about the anatomy of the bass. The next most important piece here is learning how to tune the instrument. The bass is tuned in fourths from the note E to the note G. I'm going to turn this up just a touch. From the note E to the note G. Okay, so E, A, D, and G are the strings, the names of the notes of the strings that are on a 4-string bass. There's other ways to tune. There's other amounts of strings on the bass, but for people just starting out, that's pretty much all you need to know. In order to sound good right out of the gate, we need to make sure that our instrument is in tune. So I'm using a Fishman Platinum Pro EQ here, which also has a tuning feature. This is a preamp. It's an analog preamp that you can use to EQ your sound. This works really well for upright bass. I use it in live settings on my upright often. So you can really dial in your tone very well. And you can also tune the instrument from here. I also use this in recording. Instead of using an amp, I'll just use this and run right out of that. It's a very nice pedal. I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested. Fishman makes really wonderful products. I also use their pickup on my upright bass, the full circle pickup. Excellent, excellent piece of equipment. So the one thing you really should remember when you're tuning your bass is that you want to come up to the pitch, not go down to the pitch. So if your bass is slightly sharp, you want to drop the pitch. Sharp means that the note is too high, and flat means that the note is too low. So if the instrument is sharp, you want to drop that pitch to below the note you're trying to get and then lift it up to that pitch. For example, one thing you should know is you're not going to be able to hear my bass during this demonstration. You'll be able to see the notes I'm playing and how they're functioning on the display of the tuner, but you're not going to be able to hear it. That's because most tuners have a mute function so that people don't hear you tuning while you're on stage or something like that. So as you can see, if I play my G string, that's showing up as in tune. The tuner registers that note as in tune. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to loosen that string just a little bit. Now you can see that the indicator, the little bar there, is below the G. That's what I want to show you here. We want to lift the string up to pitch. Now make sure you're playing the string repeatedly so that the tuner can hear what you're playing. So if I were to just play a note and then make an adjustment. If I've muted that string, or if the tuner is not very sensitive, it's not going to register what's actually happening in real time. So I like to keep playing the note over and over and over again as I'm tuning. The next thing I want to do is, once I've got that string up to pitch, just like this, it's a little bit under, there we go. The next thing I like to do is actually stretch the string out. So I'm going to put my fingers underneath the string, and I'm going to pull the string away from the fingerboard all the way down, and try to put any slack that's left here on the opposite side of the nut. I'm not pulling super hard, I don't want to break the string, but as you can see, the G has gone flat. So I need to lift that back up, and there we go. I'm going to repeat this process with each string. So now my D's a little flat. I'm going to lift it. There we go. And then stretch that string. Play it again. We're a little flat. Lift it up. Very good. A string. Oh, A string's flat, so we're going to bring that back up till it's relatively in tune. There we go, that looks good. I'm going to stretch the string out. Oop. Sometimes that happens, don't worry about it. And we're flat again, so bring that up to pitch. There we go. A little more. Stretch the string out. The stretching of the string is most important when the strings are brand new. These strings are about 3 years old on this bass, and as you can see, they still can use a little bit of stretching when I'm tuning. So it's always a good idea to stretch the strings out. There we go. Bass is in tune. Now we're ready to play some music. I hope this was helpful to you. Get you some tips on moving forward with getting your instrument in tune. I hope you like and subscribe, and hit the little bell if you want to be notified when the new videos are coming out. Please comment below if you have any questions or comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks for checking things out, and I look forward to hearing from you.